Right then, ladies. So, Summer Strong seminar. And it's an important thing to mention that, getting in shape and working on ourselves should not be regarded as a kind of seasonal thing. And I think people do look at it as a seasonal thing, and we shouldn't, because every season or every part of the year, it's all got its own different kind of hurdles. It's always got it's different struggles. In the winter, we struggle with lack of daylight, getting out, getting our steps. Obviously, it's like Christmas time, and it's a lot easier to overeat, I think, right? In the winter, in the summer, obviously, we'll be covering this evening all the kind of trials and tribulations we have, keeping focused, keeping on track. Um, and obviously, we're going to go through it all, but I think one of the biggest parts of getting shit done this time of year is energy. It is for me anyway. I don't know about you guys, but it's the lack of energy, poor sleep. Last night was an absolute ball ache with the sleep. So yeah, I think energy, as we know, is so yeah, like Michaela just said, lethargic. It's tough. Um, okay, so let's get cracking into this, shall we? Where's me thing? Oh, there it is. Cool, cool, cool. All right, can I put that to the bottom? So, Summer Strong, your complete guide to training, nutrition, and mindset through the heat. Let's get straight into it. So, what we're covering, why Summit is your biggest opportunity. A lot of people look at it as a time to let go, slack off, and it really shouldn't be. How heat actually affects your body. Some of you have already started to notice this, but didn't know really why. Training smart in the heat, very important. Nutrition, hydration, and kind of what changes with that. The scale is lying to you. This is a big thing we need to cover tonight. Water retention, what's really going on? Don't throw your results away, and kind of your summer non-negotiable protocol. Okay, let's get into it. So, why summer is your biggest opportunity? Every year the sun comes out. Well, I say every year. Sometimes it fucking doesn't it? But routines can go out the window, and kind of you lot making great progress suddenly go a bit quiet. And I have noticed that slightly. Okay, I'm very in tune with you girls and kind of how vocal you are, and I do notice it. Yeah, yeah, that's why we've put this seminar on tonight. Then September arrives, and they feel like they're starting from scratch. And some people could quite well be starting from scratch because they've let their foot off the gas through the summer. This is not happening with us, okay? Not this year. So while everyone else is pressing pause, we're pressing forward. Summer is where the separation happens. Okay? So the women who get the best results aren't the ones with perfect conditions, they're the ones who have stopped waiting for them. That is massive. Okay? Let that sink in. The women who get the best results aren't the ones with perfect conditions. I don't think anyone has perfect conditions. They're the ones who've stopped waiting for those perfect conditions and crack on regardless. Okay? And a lot of people at this time of year can definitely fall into the category of all or nothing. And my own personal opinion of people who have consistently slipping into that all or nothing, essentially what that means is that you quit when it gets hard. Anyone disagree with me there? And I didn't realize this to be the case until quite recently, actually, when I realized that, yeah, that's exactly what all or nothing means. It means they can give it all when things are going great and give nothing when it gets a bit difficult, when things get a bit kind of testing, right? But I would be interested to know if anyone wants to have actually heard that, whether they disagree or not. So, how the heat affects your body. This isn't an excuse to do less. Let's get that straight. It's context so you can make smart decisions and not let it affect your mindset that some aspects of the program are going to feel a bit more difficult over these hotter months, right? So, number one, our heart rate increases. Okay. Your cardiovascular system has to work harder to regulate temperature. So, everything else feels more intense, right? Like, for example, I Played a bit of footy with Axel outside yesterday, about 20 minutes, if that. And I was goosed. I felt dead because of this that I'm talking about now. The heart rate increases, it has to work harder. Core temperature rises. Okay. So your body will prioritize cooling you down over performance because it's the safest option, right? Your body's always trying to protect you. And fatigue arrives sooner at the same intensity. Who in here has very clearly kind of noticed that through your workouts, you're just getting tired a lot quicker? Sweat rate accelerates. Fucking hell, know that. I'm actually feel like a beader now. Fluid and electrolyte loss increases significantly, raising dehydration risk. Okay. Um, sorry, I'm just catching up on messages, anything that coming through. Eleanor, yeah, notice that. Appetite suppressors. Your body reduces hunger signals to lower heat generated from digestion. Sleep quality drops. Again, I know this one. Higher core temperatures at night directly affect recovery. I get too hot fucking in October, never mind these months. Katie, wish my appetite had suppressed. Again, my yeah, it can go one or two ways. I will say though, anyone who feels like their appetite has increased it, through this kind of time of year, usually would indicate dehydration. Because sometimes your body cannot differentiate between being dehydrated and being hungry. Sometimes your body will ask for food, but actually what it is asking for and what it requires is more water. So be very aware of that one. So training smart in the heat. Let's get it straight. Adjusting your training in summer isn't weakness, it's intelligence. The goal doesn't change, the approach does. And I've had to do this in my training because my gym hasn't got any air conditioning. The shutters are always up and the sun's blazing down. It's fucking like a sauna in there. So what I do is I train as intensely. Like I don't back off the weights at lift. I don't back off the training intensity in the actual exercise. I just do slightly less. So today I did about 25, 30 minutes. Still lifted heavy, still went for it. But by 25, 30 minutes, I felt like I was done. All right. It was the sensible option not to push through that heat and end up fucking with heat stroke or heat exhaustion. So time and environment is really important. Training early morning and evening, avoid the 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. heat window. I mean, that should go without saying, really, shouldn't it? Okay. Get your ass out of bed early. It's the best way. And if you start work at 6, if you got to leave the house at 6, then yeah, okay, I get it. I'm not going to ask you to get up at 4. Okay, you could do, but I'm not going to tell you to do that. The other logical option is to train later. Okay, talking 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. It's not ideal, but it's definitely a better option than training between that 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. heat window. Prioritize strength training indoors. I mean, most of us do that anyway, right? Warm up, shorter core temperatures already elevated, so you don't have to spend as much time warming up. Okay. So, like I mentioned to you before, effort and execution. Okay, reduce your intensity by 10 to 15%. Your effort level is already high. So remember that, ladies. So if you feel like you're not doing as much as you usually do or not able to push as much, your body is pushing exactly the same. Okay, you might be able to shave a few reps off. You might have to drop a set out of it. You might not finish the whole workout, but be rest assured that your body's working just as hard, if not harder, having to deal with the heat element. All right. Extend rest periods in the heat. Okay. Again, this is all kind of common sense, right? But it's good for us to realign with this and get it straight in our heads. So extend the rest periods, take a bit more time in between, hydrate more in between sets. Okay. Use the 5 minute rule on low motivation days. And we've spoke about this before. So today, it's the only day that I didn't have a client in the gym. I didn't have to be at the gym. But with me being away for a few days last week, I feel like I need to do a bit more this week to get my mindset in place. And I'll be honest, I really didn't feel like it today. And I kind of said this to myself. I'm going to do 10 minutes hard, intense lifting. I'm going to lift as heavy as I can for 10 minutes and just see where it goes. And like I said, got about 25, 30 minutes. And within the heat was today and the crap sleep I had last night. I had to be more than happy with that. Okay. I had to be really content with that. So scale, don't skip. All right. A 30-minute session beats nothing every day of the week, right? So the key principle is to adjust the plan, not abandon it. There will be so many people, not in this program, actually. Yeah, there has been two people that unfortunately I've had to let go out of the program over the last few weeks, quite simply because they refused to do any of the program. And they were definitely using the elements, the summer. One of them said they had too many parties and barbecues coming up, so wouldn't be able to do. It was baffling. So yeah, I cut it dead. I'm not having that in here. Fucking ridiculous attitude. Um, right, what are we saying, Bethany? That's me hungry, but actually dehydrated. Yeah, more than likely. April, appetite low, and I'm ravenous because I've not eaten. I'm all over the place. Yeah, structure. Got to find that structure again, okay? When it comes to the food side of things, just quickly, take advantage of the heat, okay? Because in the summer, we don't crave salads, do we? We don't crave fruit salad after and yogurts and like this time of year, we should be utilizing it to our advantage. Loads of fresh salads, grilled meats, barbecues. Yeah, make the most of it. So here we go. Nutrition and hydration. What changes? So like we mentioned, your appetite drops. We've got holidays, barbecues, late night disruptive habits. And here's what to prioritize. First of all, protein first. This is always okay. But even when your appetite drops, hit your protein target first. Cold, easy options, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, protein shakes, cold chicken salads. Lovely stuff, right? It's all great. The other day, I wasn't hungry, but I trained and I knew I needed to get protein in. I'd already had a protein shake that morning. In the end, I literally just grilled, flavored a couple of chicken breasts, grilled them, and just literally ate them.
That's mine. No! I was going to squeeze that then, you little knobhead.
You got me one then?
No,
Get me a drink.
no.
Have you seen that? I'm down in hydration. Do you want to even give me a drink? I've not got one here. Get me a drink. You're a dick. Right. Eat smarter. Okay. Smaller, more frequent meals, reduced internal heat. Okay. We don't want to be sat there with a plate full of food, raising our internal heat, raising our core temperature. Okay. So don't skip meals to be good. Undereating wrecks metabolism more than any barbecue. So small, grazy meals. What I would personally do in this situation, ladies, when you're doing your meal prep this weekend, make up your protein in advance. Maybe have like 3 tubs. Do grill some chicken breasts. Maybe I really like poaching chicken. Don't know if you've ever tried this, but poaching it in boiling water and then shredding it, putting a bit of seasoning with it, maybe a bit of sweet chili sauce, and have that in a tub. So you got a tub of chicken breast, tub of shredded chicken, and maybe a tub of steak or a tub of boiled eggs. Something that you can literally have at hand, that you can literally grab a handful of protein, put a load of salad around it, you're good to go. Okay. And hydration protocol, I cannot stress this enough, ladies. Like, if you're not making a conscious effort to drink more water, you are literally going to be pissing in the wind. Okay. You are making this time so much more difficult. Okay. And it's such an easy fix. Okay. You could say, well, I just keep forgetting to drink. We'll set a reminder on your phone. Have a big water bottle filled at the start of each day. I don't like drinking water. First of all, grow up. Second of all, put some flavor in it. All right. Put some no added sugar, cordial or whatever. But honestly, this is really important. And also remember that water alone is not good enough to hydrate, especially through these times. All right. So 2.5, 3.5 liters daily on training days. Add a pinch of salt, so maybe some pink Himalayan salt is a really good one. Eat potassium-rich foods. and maybe consider electrolytes if you feel like you need to. And if you are drinking alcohol, you need to match it with a glass of water in between each one. Okay. Dehydration signs, persistent headaches. I was getting a few of them the other week. Flat, heavy legs, cramping, brain fog, dark piss, dizziness post session. Drink half a litre before training, quarter of a litre every 20 minutes during. Okay. That has to be a definite, all right? Yeah, I hear it all the time though, April. So many people say I don't like water. Well, unfortunately, if you don't drink water, after 3 days, you're dead. All right. You can literally go 6, 7 days without a molecule of food, 2 to 3 days without water, you could end up dead. All right. That's how important it is. That's how much we need it. And also, with what we're looking to do is achieve a healthy, lean, strong body. Hydration at- is up there. Okay. So if you've experienced any signs of dehydration, get on it from tomorrow immediately. All right. Right. This one. This one. I've spoke to a couple of you about this, and at the end, I felt like banging your heads together. So let's go through this. I thought it was important to put it in. Water consumption is like the only thing in life I'm so healthy with. Well, it's a big one, Katie, to be fair. Okay, my issue is I don't feel thirsty, but I've been pushing myself to drink. Yeah, if that's another one. So obviously that's a similar to you forget to drink if you don't feel thirsty. It's probably because your body's not used to having it. I guarantee when you start drinking water more religiously and keep up with it, you'll be thirsty because your body like, yeah, I like this. Give me more. Okay. So the scale is lying to you 2 to 4 pounds. Okay. That is the average weight fluctuation in a day. So you could literally weigh up to actually about £5 actually in a day due to the fluctuation due to hot weather. Okay. So why it happens? First of all, heat vasodilation increases fluid movement into tissues. Okay. Higher sodium intake from food choices can obviously increase water retention and bloating. Alcohol disrupts hormonal fluid balance for 24 to 48 hours. If you're having a higher carb intake, each gram of glycogen holds 3 grams of water. So think about that. And this is why a lot of people think, oh, carbs don't agree with me and I can't have carbs. I get dead bloated. That's why. If you're dehydrated, each carb intake, each gram of carbs, okay, holds 1 gram of glycogen equals 3 grams of water. 3 times the weight goes to water for each gram. Hormonal fluctuations plus heat is a kind of double whammy, right? New or heavier training or different training program causes temporary inflammation. And another big one at this time of year is poor sleep spikes cortisol, driving fluid retention. Okay. So the bottom line, if the number goes up in a heat wave, it's not fat. Okay. It's fluid. It will come back down. So if anyone has a meltdown due to scale weight going up slightly in check-ins, I'm going to kill you. Okay. It's not going to be body fat. In fact, because your body's having to work harder through these hotter times of the year, like we mentioned before, your metabolic rate is working harder, your cardiovascular system's working harder. Like the likelihood is it's actually beneficial for fat loss to be training in heat, to be within heat. But that's not to say the scales aren't going to go up, but it's not fat. Okay. The number going up is essentially your body doing its job, not undoing yours. Keep training, keep eating well. The number will normalize. So don't stress about that. Hang on 2 secs. Talking about hydration. Right. So, big one. This is really important this time, ladies. So listen up, all right? Let me just catch up on message before we get into this. Bethany, mine is 1.2 so far, but to be fair, Bethany, you're only 4 days into the program, so I'm going to cut you a bit of slack. that slack will tighten at some point. Okay, so getting it. Michaela, it's going to go into shock. That's from a reading on this. Hypocrite. Well, we can all be hypocrites, right? I'm definitely much better at giving advice than taking it, trust me. So, you've worked incredibly hard, okay? Every early morning, every session you did when you didn't feel like doing it, okay? The summer slide is real and the cost of stopping is significant at this time of year, okay? It doesn't really talk about this, but just quickly, just think, ladies, if you let your shit kind of get away from you, if you lose focus, if you lose consistency, what's on the other side of summer? Okay. What? September. Okay. October, November, December, Christmas, winter. How confident are you if you let things drop that by September you'll be straight back into it and you'll undo all of the work that you didn't do in the summer in time for the end of the year, in time for Christmas? This is where people trip up. Okay. The months where really we should be pushing forward and finishing strong at the end of the year and looking back at those 12 months thinking that was an incredible year for my health and fitness. A lot of people let themselves off the hook at this time of year and it deteriorates. Okay. It deteriorates for the second half of the year and they lose everything that they did at the start. And we're not going to do that. Okay. So after 2 weeks of letting things kind of slip away, your fitness will decline. VO2 max drops noticeably within just 2 weeks without training. And we've all experienced that after a holiday, right? Especially an all-inclusive one. After 3 weeks, our strength reduces. Significant strength loss begins after 3 weeks of detraining. Okay? And 2 times the rebuild time. It takes roughly twice as long to rebuild what you lose as it does to maintain it. I'm going to do some content on that focus in particular. People need to realize that. It's a lot harder to bounce back and rebuild work, okay, than it does to maintain it. Habits require consistent repetition. A 2-week break disrupts the neural pathway. That progress belongs to you. Protect it. Okay? If you've made progress, which every single one in this program has, even Bethany, who's been in the program 4 days, we're already making progress. She's already going to be able to finish this week in a better position than she's been probably all year. So everyone in here has made progress. All right? Do we really want to throw that away because of a bit of heat? If anything, this is the time where we want to feel and look our very best. So it makes totally no sense to let things kind of cascade away right now, right? So the 40% rule, you know it's going to make an appearance, and your summer protocol. If 40% is all you have today and you give 40%, you have given 100% of what you had. And this couldn't be more relative to this time of year. Because of the heat, lack of sleep, everything else, it's probably going to be a lot more common that we feel like we do only have 40% or 30%. Yeah? So this is the protocol. Showing up at 40% in July is worth more than waiting for September. 100%. Right. Not fair it takes so long to build and then just fucks off there for a few weeks. Well, not fucks off, but significantly will decrease. Okay? You've got to remember that your body is an amazing biomechanic machine and it will adapt to everything you give it or don't give it. Yeah, it might take a bit longer to get back onto it after taking a bit of a break, but also if you go all in, for 6 months, you could undo 3-4 years of a shitty lifestyle. That's the science-backed kind of data with timings. 6 months going all in, being at least 80-85% consistent with your diet, training, nutrition, hydration. You could undo 3-4 years of shit eating, lack of exercise, and the rest of it. So in that respect, it's not too bad, is it? Okay. What we're saying, Donna, I applied the 40% rule today, felt so much better. Yeah, good for you, mate. That's awesome. So the morning, half a litre of water, protein first breakfast, moving training early if it's going to be hot. Non-negotiable. That's easy, right? Can everyone do that? Wake up, first thing you do is drink half a litre. Okay? If you're training, train. Then have your protein first breakfast. Easy. So training again, assess the capacity. Between 1 and 10, how are we feeling? Apply the 40% rule. Cool environment or early or late timing. Scale, never skip. Okay? Nutrition, protein at every meal. Cold, easy options when appetite is low. Like I said, put some cooked proteins in singular tubs so you've always got something to grab on the go. If you have some shredded chicken with different flavors, how many things can you do with that? Get a wrap, bump in. Fresh salad, put it on the top. Okay? Bit of sweet potato on the top. Piece of piss. Don't wait until you're starving. All right? That's another big one. Evening. Let's reflect. One win. Sleep cool, sleep dark, sleep 7 hours minimum if you can. In fact, let's do that now, as it is the evening. Reflect. Every single person on this live right now, give me your win for today. Let's go. Bethany, I've always eaten before I've trained. Is that bad? No, not necessarily bad, Bethany. It just depends on how much time you got to play with. Because obviously, when you wake up and eat, you got to wake like at least 90 minutes, I would say. 60 to 90 before you can train. And for me, I just haven't got that time in the morning. Donna went to the gym today after feeling utter rubbish. Love that. Big one, that. Katie went out for a walk, even though I really couldn't be bothered. Managed 6 steps. Banging. How did you feel after that, Katie? Better, right? Pip got my steps in and drank my water and been for a swim at the gym. That's a cracking day, mate. Lovely day. Eleanor came to the gym tonight, even when I didn't have to. Like that. So, Eleanor, you went to the gym tonight, even though you didn't have to. So, why did you? Hey, boy. Yeah.
Isn't Teddy to me in his house instead of playing basketball or football?
He's in his house.
I think.
I don't think he's going to be in this time, mate, because it's 8 o'clock at night. I don't think he's going to be his dad's not going to be at his house this time, buddy. Right, I'm working, going. They wants to, yeah. Why not? Makes us feel good, right? Bethany, my win was weighing a shortbread at work on the scales and sign that earned to eat half when I figured out how many calories you could take. To be fair, you're laughing, mate, but that's big. That's discipline. That's not feeling restricted, but making a sensible option. Still having a bit of shortbread because you fancied a bit of shortbread, which, fuck me. If we can't have the odd biscuit now and again without feeling guilty, or the odd drink at the weekend without wanting to jump off a bridge, like, what's the point in any of this? Seriously. Okay, then, my little win is that I have drank some ice cold water. I've had a rubbish week, but determined to start again tomorrow and finish strong. Yes, mate. Your determination is second to none. We know this. Bethany, yeah. But Bethany, I think we spoke about this last week about that's like a kind of 40% rule kind of thing. Because imagine, right? Imagine we'd all adopted the 40% rule our whole lives. Imagine we did something rather than nothing every opportunity. Imagine, Bethany, that every time we went for a food that was higher in calories or didn't really fit how much we should be eating, or we know we're overeating. Imagine every opportunity we had, we pulled back a bit. We had a bit of restraint. All those times that we did a workout when we couldn't be asked, imagine where we'd be today. So maybe if we start adopting that attitude and adopting that mindset, big things are going to happen, right? Hazel, my win was my water intake. 4 litres. Be trying to step it up with this weather. That's awesome, mate. Bang on. Hazel's doing it. Everyone else should be. So, that is it. That is it. So, a bit of a recap. So, training early or late. Okay. We are scaling, but not ditching it. Protein at the start of each meal. Okay, make it easy for yourself. Cold, pre-cooked stuff, get it done. Prep it on a weekend. Hydrating, I mean, that's up there, if not at the top at this time of year. Okay, hydration has to happen. Whatever it takes, setting reminders on your phone, flavoring your water, filling a big water bottle up at the start of each day. Do what you need to do to get that hydration in. Okay, dropping intensity of the training, but not the training session itself. Okay, pull back a bit, but still get it done. Okay, so we're on Thursday now. Let's finish this week strong. Okay, adopting all the elements that we've gone through tonight, making sure that we're following the protocol we've gone through. Before we leave tonight, I want to hear from everyone. What is your take home from tonight? What's the one thing that we've gone through today that you think, right, I need to do more of that. I'm going to try this. I need to kind of figure that out a bit better. I need to work on that. Let me know in the comments. Let's go. I am literally sweating. Ugh. Go, ladies, put your thumbs out your arse. Let's get going. Keep going. Yeah, I suppose that's one of the biggest ones, isn't it, really? Just keep going. We're not going to be one of these statistics of people who, for some reason, feel like, working on fitness and training just because it's hot, it's just not even feasible. It's a ridiculous way to think because it's just going to set us up for a very tough end of the year where we're going to be kicking ourselves. We're going to be frustrated if we threw away any progress or results that we've worked so fucking hard for to this point. Katie, don't give up entirely because it's hot and feel gross. Something's better than none. Yeah, 100%. Don't train too hard in the mad heat. Yeah, let's be sensible about this. Yeah. Michaela's giving me tips to help, and I know we can still do it even though we went to use this heat. Good, love that. Pip, the facts are so interesting regarding the scales and what the body does in the heat. Yeah, never heard of salt and water either, so might give it a go. Yeah, so basically, when we're drinking just water, the body can't utilize a lot of it. It'll just pass it through. So we use salts, potassium, and we do get salt and potassium through our foods, right? So usually it's not a big issue. But when we're sweating more, we lose salts. That's why sweat is salty. We lose salts and electrolytes. So we keep trying just to replace it with only water. It's a lot more difficult. Okay, so a sprig of salt in the morning, like in the morning, usually I put a sprig in, like a little glass like that, I put my creatine, maybe I put a bit of electrolytes in. I mean, it doesn't taste the best, but once it's gone, it's done. I've lost winter for salt minus. Yeah. Obviously, pink Himalayan salt or proper sea salt, cracked sea salt, the best. Probably the pink Himalayan I would go for. Um, yeah. And just fill your water bottle up at the start of the day. 2 litre water bottle, that's bare minimum. Ideally, it needs to be three, really, especially on training days. April saying, I've actually enjoyed training the heat because I've sweat more, made me feel like I've achieved more. I'm going to graze on light meals to manage appetite. Yeah, good April. I'm a bit like that. I don't really sweat when I train, but obviously in this weather I do. And sometimes it feels a bit uncomfortable when you finish and you've had a sweaty session, you've really pushed yourself through the heat, doing something. I think it's doing something that's difficult, isn't it, April? If anything, doing something that's tough always gives you a good feeling after. Oh yeah, it does help with, yeah, helps it's like an antiseptic, isn't it? Bethany, how important water is, and most of what you said I didn't know. Well, you've only just joined the program, Bethany, so you're about to experience a wealth of knowledge. Isn't that right, ladies? Say yes. I do know some stuff. My back is sweating to this. That's not the best material to be in this heat. Um, thanks, Anna. Right, ladies, I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of your evening. Go and get yourself a cold bath. I've been having like a cold, not cold, not to the point where it's like an ice bath, but colder than lukewarm, and just lying in it for like 20 minutes a night. Oh, it's amazing. So yeah, ladies, enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll be in touch soon. Don't forget the challenge that we're doing next week, the Daily Secret Challenge, that is going to launch on Monday. We're going to do that through the Facebook group, so it's easier for you to post your entries. I'll explain it all on the live on Sunday morning, so make sure you jump on that. But yeah, ladies, peace out. Have a lovely evening. I'll speak to you soon.